Welcome, Spartans, to Mission Debrief. We're playing every mission in the mainline Halo video game series in chronological order, discussing our experiences and sprinkling in a little lore along the way. If you'd like to play along and have your thoughts read on the show, email us at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. We'll be recapping Spartan Ops from Halo 4 on the next episode. If you like what you hear and you'd like to support the show, visit Podcast Evolved on Patreon. This episode, we're debriefing Spartan Ops, episodes 6 through 10 from Halo 4. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, alongside David Arnold.
Hello, everybody.
And Krysta Brown.
So when does Halsey get her Luke Skywalker arm? The robot arm.
Yeah.
Soon.
Soon, my child, soon.
Last mission. So we played the first half of Spartan Ops.
Oh,
now we're playing the second half.
did?
The last, I'll give a quick recap here. So led by Captain Thomas Lasky, the UNSC Infinity was sent to reconnoiter Requiem 6 months after the composing event at New Phoenix. Fireteam Majestic was introduced to Spartan Commander Sarah Palmer and then quickly sent to the surface of Requiem along with numerous other fireteams of Spartan 4s. Fireteam Crimson turns up a mysterious Forerunner artifact that can transport individuals around the Shield world, among other things. Then Catherine Halsey was brought out of captivity to help uncover the mysteries of the artifact. But then she got herself in trouble texting Jewel and Dama.
Yeah.
Jewel and Dama just slid into her DMs so smooth.
Yeah, he did. Jewel is the leader of a Covenant sect looking for the secrets of the Librarian. After a series of unfortunate events, both Spartan Thorn and Fireteam Crimson were captured by the Covenant. That's where we left off last time. This episode, we're wrapping up Spartan Ops, so chapters 6 through 10. Thorn and Glassman manage to rescue each other and eventually get picked up by Fireteam Majestic. Meanwhile, Halsey manipulates Jewel into invading the Infinity and taking her to the Librarian's memory, where she's gifted the Janus key, which identifies the location of every piece of Forerunner tech in the universe. So we're still in February. It's 2558. And why don't we just pick up right where we left off from the last episode? We'll just kind of dive in. David was kind of giving an overview of the cinematics, and then Krysta was kind of diving into the individual chapters.
My torture is unending.
So yeah, let's just dive right into it. David, how do we start off here in the 6th episode?
So the 6th episode is called Scattered, and it kind of takes a turn. The show, you can feel it that it's halfway, like that it changes tempo pretty quickly. So go to kind of opening scene of the sweeping Infinity. They're just kind of hanging out above Requiem, moving along. No two issues. You get Halsey just being amazing Halsey, saying that all she wants is knowledge. She wants to know everything. Just pretty much kind of trying to justify why she did what she did, why she got caught. So she's pretty much being interrogated here by Palmer and Lasky.
Was that moment, though, really quick, when she's staring out the window and talking about all she wants is knowledge, was that similar to when Cortana was looking at the sunrise?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
totally, 100%, yeah. And then it's kind of interesting that, like, AIs are, like, all they are knowledge, and they're, like, they need more information all the time. And it's funny to think, like, that's what their big driver is, and that's also the driver of Halsey. That, like, she just wants knowledge, constantly wants to know what's going on and to understand things, and will do anything to pretty much do that.
It's amazing that she's frustrated that she can't know any. Like, she's not going to live long enough to know everything, too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I'm sure she knows that, but it's pretty cool. They're pretty much back and forward here, nothing too amazing happening, and then Roland interrupts them, but, like, we've got a situation, you got to pay attention to what's going on right now. And I think it's Spartan Thorn pops up again, and he's alive. So the last sequence we saw Thorn go through the machine, he was angry about, like, New Phoenix and that fact that Prometheans are those humans now. So he pretty much goes up and touches the machine and gets teleported through. We see him kind of just come out the other end and then be surrounded by Sangheli. Then it kind of cuts. This kind of cuts to him being dragged through the desert to Sangheli, but are pulling him along. And then he's having little flashbacks as he wakes up to like a pretty cool fight scene of him just going toe to toe with a bunch of Sangheili with energy swords. He pretty much gets slashed across the chest and then he's like down and out. It's pretty cool though. He killed about like 4 or 5 dudes.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool sequence. So pretty much he gets dragged in and then you kind of cut back to where Jewel is. So Jewel is with Glassman and he's just activated what he thinks is the librarian, but it's a big blue energy shield. So Glassman kind of sees the fact that he's unattended, everybody's bowing down and praying to the thing, so he kind of legs it. So he's got like an explosive
It's fucking amazing. He's just like, he just backs up slowly and he's just like, bye.
And he realized nobody's holding his leash and he just legs it.
I love that he has a leash.
Yeah. So Jewel is just kind of, he touches the barrier and it gets knocked back and he realizes he's been deceived and he starts freaking out. Realizes Glassman.
Do you think he
gone.
Deceived him?
No, not at all. I think Glassman had no idea what he was doing. He just like, I'm going to turn the thing on. The thing is on. Run. So, and then obviously Jewel just thinks, oh, I've been deceived. And then he kind of sends all his troops after Glassman and pretty much says to Gek, oh no, it's unacceptable that he escapes. So Gek is like, I'll deal with this personally. And Gek, as you remember, is like the only other Sangheili character in this other isn't Jewel.
Right,
so
pretty much.
He often has a bare head. He's got no armor on his head. So just pretty much, I say, just to distinguish him amongst all the others.
Exactly.
So the guys are outside with Thorn, and they're just about to knock on the door to get themselves in, and Thorn kind of wakes up at the perfect time as Glassman comes out the other side of the door.
You totally see that coming, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Sangheili kind of grab him, but at the same time, Gek realizes that like Glassman is away, but he has his explosive vest. So he's like, I know what I'm going to do. And he pulls out the trigger. So right before he does anything else, Thorn wakes up, beats the crap out of some Sangheili, and pretty much kind of gets the explosive vest off Glassman and throws it into the doorway when all the other Sangheili are chasing after them. And it's like, oh man, Gek, you fool. And he blows up and kills all his buddies. Which is pretty damn epic.
And then he's sad.
He is really sad.
He is sad, Gek, because he realized what he's done. He's made a big mistake. And he notices that the footprints lead away so that he knows that they're alive. So he pretty much gears up to chase after them, as you can imagine. And that's pretty much the end of that sequence.
All right. And then now we're Fireteam Crimson and we're captured because they made it They made it seem like something was going down, but then they faded to black before anything actually went down, which is, I really like this first chapter of this episode.
It's not bad. Like, you can definitely tell, like, between 1 through 5 and 6 through 10. Like, 6 through 10, like, you're actually moving through the map. It's just not just, like, a big open space. Like, there seems to be more of a purpose for you being there. Mm-hmm. And so you can kind of see this in... some more than others, but you can kind of see this in a lot of these chapters. So, like you said, the first one is Escape Plan, Crimson Escapes, Covenant Custody. You rescue a team called Icebreaker, and you get to steal your very own shiny Phantom.
Yeah.
Yay!
Flashback to ODST.
Hey! And then the next one is All the Secrets. You investigate a Covenant facility and you activate so many terminals. It's just like a million terminals. Mm-hmm. Just like, oh, okay. The next one is Need to Know and investigate a Covenant Intel Center. And you get to fly Banshee, which I really appreciated. I was very happy for Banshee time.
This is the first time we did Banshee time, huh?
Yeah, I know. This is the only time we do Banshee time. They don't give us any more Banshees. The next one is Search and Destroy. Destroy a Covenant supply depot. Find some stolen nukes that don't have their warheads. Ooh. Oh no, where are they?
How do you like that map? That's the Cyclone map, I think is what it's called. It's like dark outside and there's that big structure in the middle.
It wasn't bad. I didn't mind it at all. I remember really liking it for Dominion in Halo 4. I played a lot of Dominion. So that's kind of the feeling I got every time we went on that map, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Finally, the last one is Switchback. You're finding a team called Switchback, and you get to infiltrate and disable a harvester.
Oh,
that was cool.
What are harvesters, you ask? They're literally just super big scarabs. They're made of the same Lek Golo and stuff like that. That's all they really are.
Oh, they are?
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they're just like,
Interesting.
they're pretty much the same as scarabs, just a different kind of look. They're way bigger, of course, but like you don't see harvesters very much in the Halo universe. The only other time we've really seen one is in Renegades.
And they're just for excavating.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just an excavation kind of thing. Something hilarious I found while playing through all of these, and I think I saw one, is for the wraiths. So most of the time, like, you don't get your own wraith, but I was able to steal every single one I came across because if you EMP them, the driver just gets out.
Oh, really?
He just gets out.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, if the driver
That's
like
brilliant.
bugs out and will get out of the wraith and then get on the turret.
Oh, funny.
It was
I was having trouble
hilarious.
stealing the race. We kept like punching him, and the guy wouldn't die. It would just blow up.
All you gotta do is use a plasma pistol, and
Apparently,
they're yours.
Good job, Krysta.
I found out that if they don't get out after the first blast, if you EMP them and you stand on top and are shooting down at the hood of it, then he'll just get out anyway as well. So if you're shooting him while he's in there and it's EMP'd, he just leaves. So,
Yeah.
pro tip for Halo 4. They just think the vehicle's broken, I guess, and just abandon it. But yeah, that's all we're doing in 6.
These are all new maps, I think, right? We didn't play any of these
Yeah.
maps in the previous chapters.
Yeah, these are all new maps, and like pretty much you see all these new maps like throughout the entire kind of block that we're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of the
They
same
get
thing.
reused, but
Oh.
it's not as egregious as the previous.
No, I think it's
previous
because
chapters.
like they add doors and stuff you have to unlock, and
Yeah.
it's just a little more interesting, but not like crazy great.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
It's
Yeah.
just okay. but-
Anyway, all right, let's go to number 7.
Zeben.
Number 7 is called Invasion. And I think this is one of my favorite segments,
one's
or my favorite
great.
chapters.
I
pretty
love this so much. Sorry.
So it starts off with Halsey in prison, in her cell, and Roland kind of comes in and kind of tries to talk to her in terms of what were you trying to achieve, why were you keeping secrets, and why were you doing what you were doing. And she says, well, blah blah blah, there is power to be things kept unknown. And he was like what? And she says like, oh god, what should I say? Something parabellum, or not para. She has a phrase like iridium.
Oh,
Give me one second.
yeah. Is it undead iridium? Is that what it
Undead
is?
iridium is what it is. Yeah, you're right. And it pretty much is like an AI override.
Undid iridium.
Undid. Iridium.
Undead.
That's awesome. So she pretty much takes control of Roland and pretty much
It is
organizes her.
such a Halsey thing to do too, to have all of
Absolutely.
these, because Halsey pretty much constructed like the basic matrix for all AIs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure most of them have this failsafe for her. It's such a Halsey thing. It's so great. It makes me so happy.
Yeah. This moment shows how badass she can be in the books.
Totally, and then you see why she's so dangerous.
Mhm.
So she pretty much gets herself let out of her jail cell and brought to Lasky's quarters, where she pretty much takes over the console and gains a whole bunch of information, realizes what's going on, that John is still alive, that he was on the
Oh
ship. That's a big deal,
my
a big reveal for her.
God, that was
So
like
cool.
such a heart-wrenching thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
the moment her character completely changes the moment John was even brought up.
Yeah, it's awesome. So she kind of figures out who Jewel is, what the Dyke's hand is, what they've been doing, and she kind of says, "If people would just tell me things, I would solve all their
I
problems."
love that.
It's so good. Meanwhile, Roland is like fighting with himself, so you can kind of see him come through a little bit. And she pretty much contacts Jewel again through the device, and pretty much has like a quick conversation where they kind of talk to each other and kind of measure each other out in terms of like, I can help you, you come and get me. I want what you want, which is knowledge, access to the librarian. Roland managed to take command of himself, cuts the conversation, and gets her arrested essentially again.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool.
Another
Yeah.
funny quip is when she asks for information on the librarian, and she's like, "This is all the stuff I've done. I need something new."
Yeah, this is all my information. And that's where the John reveal comes. The only other thing is John's mission debrief, where he obviously, He
Nice.
did-
That's
he
the
gets
name of the
brief.
show. I love when they do that.
Whoa! I know, it's pretty cool. And we kind of cut again, back to Halsey and Lasky in a corridor. And Lasky, she smacks Lasky and says, "You never told me that John was alive, that he was on this ship."
So good.
It was pretty badass.
It's the only time we've seen her lose her composure, too.
Yeah, and you can see that he's totally off kilter. He doesn't get a chance to reply because all the alarms start going off and Prometheans start teleporting through the device, and you get just Marines getting fucked up. And Palmer doing her badass dual wielding thing, and she's just like wrecking dudes all over the shop, and every other Marine is just dying real bad. It cuts back to Lasky in the corridor where they're through. Bunch of more Marines die. Him and Halsey are shooting. He's kind of like a badass kind of moment with a shotgun, and it was kind of cool. And him and Lasky and Catherine get away and start running through the corridor. He issues a general warning: everybody, we're being invaded. Get ready for combat. And then more show up. Fade to black.
Yeah, all of these chapters are. I mean, they do get a little long. But it's cool, just you're on the Infinity, right? It's amazing.
This one is a really cool sequence to play as Crimson. I really enjoyed this one, actually.
Yeah. Me too.
I love how it starts, too.
Oh, it's great. You like invading your own ship?
No. Like
the first mission is you recalling.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah, so in number 1, it's called Backup. It's literally just you getting out of the situation you're in to go to Infinity. Which is kind of cool.
It's very cool. And then you take, because what's the guy's name? Is it Murphy? I think he's your pilot.
Yeah.
So he comes and picks you up in the Phantom, and then the Phantom is what goes and boards the Infinity in the next one, which is really cool.
Yeah, and then it crashes into the Infinity, and then like through the whole thing, there's like a bit of Phantom in the corner.
Yeah, it's cool.
So you can use it as a ramp.
You can, yeah. So the first one is recalling. The second one is called Home Field. You're just securing a hangar on Infinity. It's not. Like, the hangar's so effed up because you keep like pushing something and it's like, oh man, that's not working. And Roland's like, I don't know what to do. Give me a second. And then you go do something else. And he's like, I don't know what to do. Give me a second. Then you go do something else and it finally works. It's like, damn. Yep. God damn it. The next one is Engine of Destruction, which you're in the engine room and there's a bunch of cloaked nukes that you have to disable. Which is pretty cool. There's like elites that have the cloaking device, so when you kill them, the nuke pops up on your HUD, and then you get to get rid of them. I
really like that big open room. It's really cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it was nice.
It was a good fight. It looked really good too.
It did. All of these maps look really good. They look just like Infinity, pretty much. The next one is Guns of Infinity. So you're securing the engine room, and then you're bringing Infinity's guns back online. So you're just hitting a bunch of buttons again. And then finally is Victory Lap, and you just get to run around and kill remaining forces in Infinity.
Yeah, that one was kind of lame, but...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these... We probably touched on it last time, but a lot of these, they're kind of they're like, okay, you have to have 5 chapters in each of these.
Yeah, and it's just like, what do we do?
And like, I don't know. How about we just kill a bunch of Covenant? Okay. Sounds good. That's how we're going to end it.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, all right. On to Chapter 8.
Chapter 8 is called Expendable. This begins with Glassman and Thorn walking through the desert. Glassman is wrecked. He cannot do it. There's a classic line of, I'm not a Spartan, so I can't do what you do. He kind of has a sit down. The guys have kind of a really quick chat before Gek, decloaks himself. He's obviously caught up with them. They're trying to get back to like Galileo base, which is the base they were at previously in previous missions and where you fought and stuff. So that's our objective. Gek decloaks, immediately beats the crap out of Thorn. And then the kind of screen cuts and we're back on Infinity. Soldiers are fighting, they're killing. Lasky is running through the corridor with Halsey, and kind of he meets up with Sarah. And there's kind of a brief little kind of tirade between them. Were you worried about me? And she was like, just maybe a little, which is kind of nice. And the screen, there's a lot of chopping and changing, so it's straight back down to the fight on the screen. Gek just kind of knocks Glassman to the ground and has his sword. There's a kind of a cool, really kind of brutal fight here between Thorn and Gek, where they're like almost resorting to like hitting rocks over each other's heads and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
It's a good fight overall, I think.
Yeah, it is actually pretty cool. Pretty much Thorn is almost about to die, when his fire team come to the rescue.
What do you know?
And then we have all of Majestic back together again.
Hooray!
Yay! Cut back to Infinity. Most of the troops, I think, are beaten. Lasky's talking to the guy who flies the ship. Says, "Get us out of here." He can't. We're locked down because of the device, so we can't break away from Infinity.
Slip space anchor.
There's a little bit of a shittiness between Palmer and Halsey here. And then a Promethean Knight teleports into the bridge, knocks down Sarah, and grabs Halsey and teleports away. And then the guys realize that was the objective. Sarah is super pissed. We get cut back down to Crimson.
Well, Halsey says, "I'm sorry."
Oh, Halsey says, "I'm sorry," real quick, because she knows what's going on, like always.
Yep.
And cut back to Crimson, and they're just robbing this guy blind. Robbing this guy, this dead elite, fleecing him of all his stuff.
Yeah.
I love seeing them like play around with the energy sword. They're like, whoa.
Yeah. And then they figure out how to use his cloaking device, and they figure out he's some kind of map. I'm not really sure what the significance of it is. But
they tie that together at the end.
Do they? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So they have like a little device that they find. Then it cuts to Lasky. This is a cool sequence that I totally forgot about.
This took me completely off guard.
I totally forgot about it. So Lasky's in his room. He is straightening out his uniform, getting all ready, and he's at attention. And then he's about to talk to someone on a monitor, and then it cuts to Saren Osman, who looks amazing and sounds amazing. What? Who is Saren Osman? She's the head of Oni, and she is really smug, really ballsy.
Pretty fresh, isn't she? Like, when did she get inducted, or I guess
she was kind
named?
of
Kilo 5.
Yeah, she got named at the end of Kilo 5. So what? 2550.
354 around that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's been she's been in the position for a while because she replaced Perengoski.
Yeah. There's some of her middle stories come into other books and stuff like that where she's been.
She kind of just pops up every once in a while.
Yeah, she moves around. So she's pretty smug, saying I had two choices of what to do with Halsey. It was either kill her or put her back in a hole, it was put her back in a hole or
remove the problem.
Remove the problem, and I didn't do either. And this is now I'm going, because obviously she gave Halsey to Lasky. Now he says, I'm going to do what my predecessor advised I do, and I'm now ordering you to kill Catherine Halsey. We don't want her anymore. Get rid of her. Lasky
when I originally watched Spartan Ops, I had no idea who this character was, and I was so pissed. But now that I know who Osman is, it makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep. More reason that you kind of need some of the book background to flesh out some of these characters.
It could, like, if you don't know who she is, it completely wipes out the actual significance of this moment.
Yep,
True.
Exactly. We could tell everybody who she is, right?
Oh,
like
she's a rejected Spartan too.
Mm-hmm. So she was abducted by Halsey originally.
Yeah, and she is intimately, let's say, obviously as a Spartan 2, would be very well known to Halsey and stuff like that, and has not the world's best relationship. That's kind of interesting and is explored in the Kilo 5 books, so it's kind of building up Saren. So you kind of get more of an understanding, and you can kind of understand exactly why she would do what she does next, or why she would order that. Anyhow, we cut back to, and we have Jewel, who is staring at the librarian's device, and his giving out about the fact that Glassman is rubbish. And he turns, Halsey is there, and she was like, I am not Glassman, again, shitting all over this guy. And pretty much instantly does like a double tap on her little keypad and unlocks the bubble. That then phases back in and turns into a big blue light, and she immediately runs up and jumps into it. And
I know, she's just like, peace.
Yep. All right. Then now, what's Crimson be doing? What's the boots on the ground doing?
What are Crimson doing? Oh, this one's called Expendable, this episode, and the first one is Unfinished Business, where you secure Covenant locations and turn off portals. Hooray! The next one is Majestic Rescue. Rescue Majestic, because they are dumb. This is what my notes say, by the way.
Because they're dumb.
Those days.
You use some warthogs in this one.
Yeah, but like, if you're just playing by yourself, you don't want the AI using a warthog anyway.
Yeah.
I usually just take the ghosts. The next one is Lancer. You just save Switchback. Then one after that is Crystal Ball. Investigate Coveting Listening Center. Tracking system. Save Captured Pelican. You're just investigating some stuff, and then you find a giant pelican, and it's just like, maybe we should take that. So you take it.
Well, they were using the pelican to track UNSC movements, I think. So they must have been using the comms to then figure out where we were going, I guess. So I mean, that was kind of cool. I thought that was like a good reveal that the pelican's up there and like, oh, okay, this is what they had taken over.
Yeah. The next one is Glassman, and you just activate some science stuff for him that's supposed to help Infinity escape Requiem, which isn't, you don't actually do more. You do more of this stuff like later in a different episode, but it's kind of the precursor to that.
Yep, exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, there's like we've talked about it. There's lots of little tiny details that are inside of each one, but kind of the overarching
story.
We're trying to keep it pretty simple. One of the highlights, I guess, in this one was I liked there was a poker squad.
There was.
You guys picked up on that?
I'm like, what are Poker Squad actually doing? Are they literally just sitting around and playing poker?
Well, isn't that what like Majestic do? And like in the comics and stuff, they're always
they
sitting
do.
around.
Yeah, they do.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty sure there's a short story or something else written about them playing poker.
There definitely is.
Yeah.
All right, episode 9.
Episode 9 is
so
called
good.
Key, which is interesting. Key, what's Key about? So it kind of starts back on Infinity. Sarah is gowning back up, putting back on her armor, and this is a kind of interesting conversation where you can see the tension in the relationship come in between Lasky and Sarah now, because Sarah is all about killing Halsey and Lasky does not want to do it. It's pretty cool, the kind of conversations and where they go here. And
she really wants to kill Halsey.
But Lasky sees Halsey as like more of an old woman civilian than than
really
anything.
does.
Like he just can't get that past his head. But Palmer kind of sees Halsey for the bad things that she's actually done, like how much of a nuisance she's been since they brought her on.
So pretty much Sarah has taken on this mission on a solo. I'm going to go kill her myself. And then it cuts to Lasky going, Roland, where's Majestic right now? And then it cuts to Majestic getting picked up by a pelican with Thorn and Glassman all kind of beat up. Lasky comes in the hologram and pretty much gives them new orders to go and rescue Halsey. And then it cuts to where is Halsey? We have this beautiful, serene, angelic image of the librarian.
Yeah.
The two librarians of the two races come together.
Yeah, right.
And it's a pretty cool moment and explains pretty much what's going on. The librarian, or what's left of her, knows that Requiem's time is at an end, and that right now she needs to get rid of this device, which is the Janus key. And the Janus key is, oh no, does it really tell her that?
It doesn't tell her that. It's the next scene you have.
Is it the next scene? So yeah, so does it go back to another scene and you have Palmer being amazing, just stealth killing a bunch of elites with like knives and stuff and kind of sneaking up and being all cool. And then
she does really shine in combat.
She does, yeah. Especially solo. And then it cuts to Majestic as they're infiltrating, and he has his stealth thing and Thorn, and he kind of activates it, and the guys are fighting their way back in. Majestic show up at the same time and just start murdering. The dude with the sword really likes having the sword, and just cuts through fools, and pretty much holds the gates for Thorn to kind of run in and go rescue. He goes back into stealth. It cuts back to Jewel, who's staring at Halsey just inside the blue light, and then
she's floating on her back.
Yeah. I thought she was actually gone, but she's not. She's actually there in the light. And now the librarian is explaining what this thing is. It is the Janus key, and it is a record of a real-time location of every piece of forward technology. So as you can imagine, it's the Holy Grail.
So how is it different than a luminary?
A luminary, I think, luminary shows you.
It scans nearby places. It isn't galaxy-wide.
A luminary does? Okay.
And the luminary also showed humans, which
as artifacts,
Covenant never really understood why.
That's right.
So this this thing needs to be brought to the absolute record, and that's where it'll give her access. And she says she's giving it to her now because she's the one who needs it. Essentially, it's for humanity. She needs to use this to propel humanity forward.
She basically says she's basically passing on the task of the librarian to Halsey.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of what this is.
Halsey then
the arms.
Yeah. Halsey takes the keys, gets blasted out, falls back into Jewel, who grabs her and immediately grabs one half of the key.
Not realizing that there's another half.
Well, that was a cool moment though. When doesn't the librarian like slam the two together?
Oh, it's so cool.
Then it opens up this giant map.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I think it doesn't make sense why it's in two parts, other than for this story to have it in two parts.
That's the only reason. Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of weird because
maybe it's a way for them to protect it if it was.
It's a security measure, I guess. Yes, yeah. So obviously it's a pretty important piece.
If they're fighting flood or ancient humans, like you don't want the enemies knowing exactly where everything is. But they realized they were going to all die, so they didn't want to leave whoever was going to be their predecessors with nothing. So I mean, it makes sense in that regard. Because they were fighting many wars, the Forerunners.
That's true. I got the impression this device was created for humanity as a deliberate measure of like, well, maybe not, because she just says, do you not think we would have a record of all our stuff? Anyway,
yeah.
It cuts back to Jewel, and he's like triumphant with his device, and then Thorn comes out of his cloak, immediately starts killing two elites. Halsey throws him her half of the key, and at the same time, Sarah comes in, starts murdering elites, and tries to shoot Halsey. Clings her right in the shoulder as Promethean Knights come in, start teleporting and fighting essentially, and then Majestic kind of team up. Go for it.
I love Jewel like carrying Halsey on his shoulder.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So she more or less passes out. Majestic just kick ass in here and start murdering knights and elites. Jewel escapes with Halsey via the Promethean Knight's ability to teleport, which is pretty cool. Sarah is super pissed when she realizes why Majestic is here. And pretty much Thorn says, well, she can't be a traitor. Why would she give me this? And he holds up his half of the key. Fade to black.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard some criticism of Palmer. I'm just going to be an apologist for Palmer real quick. It wasn't a clear shot. Like, she can, like, ducked down and, like, she tried.
Well, there was a lot
best,
of shit
right?
going on.
A lot of stuff going on. She got her arm.
Also, anyway, Halsey has plot armor. I mean,
she does have plot armor. You're
like
right.
Palmer missed for the story to happen. I mean,
yes.
If Palmer killed Halsey now, the story would just be over.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't. It's like, come on, guys.
Yep.
Why did Palmer miss? For the story to happen.
Exactly, because Halsey had to live.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense for her to die. Right. So let's see what the boring shit Crimson's doing.
Wait a minute. Yeah, it's kind of boring.
Yeah. Alright, so this whole episode's called Key. The first one is the search for Halsey. Try to locate the Halsey with some librarian meddling. The librarian just, like, summons shit for you. Like a bunch of turrets and stuff. It's on that dark map.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like, because basically, like, there's an entity in here, and you're like, you know what it is. It's a librarian. What is she doing? Cleanup is follow Halsey's comm signal. Great. You just go from, like, thing to thing following it. Science Mountain. Find Halsey, but this time in tanks.
My notes on
Science
this one is...
Mountain. That sounds like a Disney ride or something.
I would love to ride Science Mountain.
My notes on this one says, tank! Exclamation point. Get out of tank.
Yep.
Get back in tank.
That's what you gotta do.
Yep.
The fourth one is revenge. More Halsey stuff. That's all I have written.
This whole thing. Yeah, this whole thing is just like tracking Halsey. This whole thing just kind of fell off for me. Like these last what are they called? Chapters or
10
episodes,
isn't
missions?
bad.
What are they called? Anyway, the 6, 7, and 8 are pretty good, and then it really drops off hard here at 9. I felt.
Yeah. The last one is the hammer. Resist hostiles. Find crazy Forerunner map that isn't really talked about at all.
Yeah. Oh, that is... So it's brought back into this last cutscene.
Yeah.
So this is like the second half. So who finds... I think Madsen has the map from one of the earlier cutscenes when they're tinkering around with all the
it's
stuff.
for the artifacts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so Madsen finds one, and then we find like the other map as Crimson. So yeah.
And that's
There-
about it.
There's like a gravity lift here, which is kind of cool, I thought. And you're like looking for, is it like Hawk Team or something like that? I don't know. Poker squads around. I don't know. It's all right. But yeah, it's definitely
like...
it's a fall off on gameplay here. This chapter 9, the episodes chapter 9s.
Now
all
back
right,
to the interesting story.
Back to the real story. So we cut to episode 10, which is called Exodus. Jewel is carrying Halsey unconscious. As he walks up to a phantom that picks him up, we have some more saying Healy just kind of hanging around, being cool, talking about the fact that the fleet is ready. So this is what's happening now. Essentially, they have what they came for, which is the librarian's gift. And now he's kind of like, he pretty much issued an order for the retreat. Anyone who doesn't make it to the ships will die with Requiem. And then there's a kind of big moment when he activates this device. He's kind of hesitant a little bit. And when he turns it on, everything goes red. And like we know in Halo, red is bad. Well, that's for anything, really. And then the Didex symbol kind of shows up and spins. Or is that the symbol for Requiem? It could be just Requiem.
I think it's the Didact symbol.
Is it yeah, I thought. Yeah, okay. Cuts back to Infinity over Requiem. Glassman is talking about the fact that there are other devices. We need to deactivate the other two in order to deactivate the third. Essentially, they have the deactivation code. And when these 3 artifacts are deactivated, the slipspace anchor will be gone and Infinity can move away. Sounds great. Then they have sent Palmer and Majestic and Crimson to the other one, essentially. And then immediately you see all these kind of ships leaving, and then leaving Requiem. And then Infinity goes to battle stations, let's get ready, but all the ships are just entering slipspace. And there's a cool hologram which kind of shows, it looks like there's like hundreds of bloody ships that are leaving.
Yeah.
So Jewel just gets up, takes his entire fleet and goes. And then right after, the ship starts shaking, and then they notice that, Infinity's not moving, Requiem is, and dragging Infinity with it. And it's going into the sun. So it's pretty much going to get destroyed. So then you get the big moment of, okay, you need to get those Spartans to those artifacts real fast. Fade to black.
Is it a little weird that Jewel just decides to destroy Requiem?
It is weird. It would be... Well, Jewel, like, we know Jewel doesn't actually believe in the Forerunner shit. He doesn't believe the Forerunner are gods. He's pretty much using the people that the other elites are from a group of elites that are very religious, and he just kind of commandeered them and told him he was also religious to use them as a means to an end, basically.
Yeah, I guess. So he got what he came for, and now just F off with the rest of the SHIELD world.
Yeah.
I guess.
Which seems like a total waste of a SHIELD world, but whatever.
Yeah, the thing's pretty big, right? Those things are way bigger than Earth.
This one's just a regular sized one. It's like it's
planet sized.
Yeah, this one's planet sized. It's like the ones that like Onyx that are like crazy solar system size.
Okay.
This one's a normal one.
Gotcha.
Because it's in an orbit around a sun. Like
sure.
Onyx has the sun inside of it.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's baffling.
So Crimson are trying to find the artifact. Something that's pretty much introduced like right off the bat is that the artifact is behind a wall. And it just so happens that there's a harvester right next to that wall. Unfortunately, you destroyed the power core for the harvester, so now you need a new one. So
I love how when they try to start it up, it sounds like a car that doesn't start.
it's kind of dumb, right?
Yeah.
Exactly what it would sound like.
So in the first one, Artifact, you're just kind of like looking at the harvester and figuring out exactly what you need. The second one, in one way, is just you locating, like figuring out where to find a power supply for the thing. This one's actually cool. Seize the Power is you get to steal a Lich's. A Lich. You get to steal a Lich's power core, so you get to board a Lich, steal the power core, and jump off. And
that is pretty cool. Yeah.
Like, the Exodus isn't that bad. Because you actually have, like, you have a goal, you have the stakes, you're going into the sun, and it actually, like, makes sense what you're doing. So I didn't mind 10.
They connect all the maps too.
Yeah.
Like you go from the Harvester to the Warrens, to Apex, back to Warrens, and then back to the Harvester, which is cool.
So you get to move through the map, which is amazing. So the next one is Out the Other, and you're just transporting the Harvester power core, but in a Mantis. Very nice.
And you get to blow up those things that you started up.
Oh yeah.
Those little orb things in 10-2.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So you like turn those on, and now you get to destroy them to kind of save your, I guess, like block the Covenant from chasing you out.
Yeah. Which was really cool. I liked that a lot. And then finally, the last one is called One Last Time. You activate the Harvester. It blasts through a wall. You get to turn off the Forerunner artifact. And then you have to escape Requiem. And when you're escaping, like, there's a bunch of gravity fluctuations, so it'll just, like, throw you to a wall or something like that when you're running. Which I thought was really cool. That was cool. Like,
they had, like, throughout the entire thing, they had, like, the tremors, right? Didn't you feel that in the first one?
Yeah,
so
you
it's,
feel
like,
them.
shaking your screen and whatnot.
Like I said, this episode, Exodus, isn't bad. It's really good. This is the one I really liked.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's it. That's the end of Crimson forever. And they're never seen ever again.
Oh wait, we like Crimson. Boo.
They really aren't. The real quick, I forgot to mention that I did play a bunch of these with Jesse White again, and it was a lot better playing co-op. I think I mentioned that before because Krysta and I played a little bit. But there is scoring.
Yeah.
But you access it like you access it in multiplayer, so you push like the select button, whatever that button is, and then your score will pop up there, and so you kind of have to make your own fun. It'd be nice if like it gave you, I don't know, like a constant, who's ahead when you're shooting crawlers and things like that. Like if the score was either constant on the screen or maybe it would like something would pop up there each kill that you got. But so we kind of went back and forth, and we're just kind of having a good time. It's like, oh, you're way ahead of me this time because I died and like something happened, and then he got like 10 kills ahead of me, and so then we would like play for another like 5-6 minutes, and then I'd pop on like I'm winning now, like as I caught up. So you kind of have to make your own fun in this mode, and it's more fun. If we had a full fire team of 4, it would have been fun just to kind of have that competition going. At least that's what I would have done with my friends. All right, let's do the epilogue then, right? We escape, we get we shut off the artifacts. The Majestic shuts theirs off. What happens?
We get one more lovely cutscene. This one doesn't really have a name. It's just kind of the epilogue.
That's what it's called.
Essentially. Yeah, the conclusion. Yeah, whatever. It's called the epilogue. It's pretty much dramatic, as you can imagine. It starts off with Infinity and Requiem being pulled very, very close to the sun. Lasky's getting worried, saying, hey, it's getting hot up here, Sarah. What's going on? She's like, Crimson have got theirs off because Crimson's amazing and Majestic sucks, so it doesn't. So it comes to the firefight of her and Majestic fighting their way through a corridor, essentially murdering a bunch of elites. It's pretty cool. Elites are all dead. Essentially, you get to the device, puts in the code, all happy days, it shuts off. The one inside Infinity shuts off, and then they're away. Okay, we're great. We can now move away from the sun, but obviously now Crimson and Majestic have to get off. So there's a cool cutscene of 2 pelicans bursting their way through Requiem, and then Sarah very like loudly goes, "There's Crimson's pelican," quote unquote. Crimson are real, aren't they?
Right. She mentions them.
Yeah. So the 2 pelicans blast their way through. I love the crew just panicking as the pelicans are roaring towards them, clearly not going to land like normal. You get these kind of cool little crash landings of these 2 pelicans. Not really damage done, so it's not a real crash.
But they like skid out.
They skid out. They're okay. And pretty much immediately, Lasky gives the order to get the hell out of there. Infinity's engines burst through, and you see it pulling away as Requiem gets pulled into the sun. And as you can imagine, what happens next is pretty epic. So the sun implodes and fucking blows the shit out of everything. Infinity has to emergency slip space jump, and it gets cool with, like, as you see the last minute, all the kind of sun flare blasting through. And then there's like a nice thing of, yep, all minor injuries reported, nothing major, everybody's okay. Lasky has his, we're safe, everybody cheers, yay! Which is pretty cool. We did it, guys, go team.
We
Lasky's
did
proud of
Spartan
everybody.
Ops.
Spartan Ops is complete, and Infinity just sails away into the sunset. Then it cuts back to more drama. Sarah and Lasky are still not best friends anymore because she knows what he did in terms of sending Majestic to rescue Halsey while she was supposed to kill him. And then they're pretty much on their way to see Glassman, who has the Janus key and is trying to figure out what it is. All he can figure out is that it's half of what it should be. That's all he knows.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're like, where is the other half? Dun, dun, dun. Cut to Jumanda walking up and down his room, pretty angry, giving out to Halsey for giving the key. The other half the key to them, and she's explaining, well, I didn't know they were there to kill me, so I'm not happy about it. And then she stands up, and you can see that she's lost an arm, which is pretty dramatic. Obviously, Sing Healy were not interested in healing her.
Sing Healy
they
don't
just sliced her arm off.
Well, Sing Healy don't have doctors.
Don't. That's true, actually.
Like, an injury for a Sing Healy means you just die. Like, it's...
Really?
It's dishonorable to be injured in any way, so they see healing as very dishonorable. So instead of living with an injury, you kill yourself.
Well, if it's a severe injury.
Yeah.
Well,
if it's a severe injury.
If it's a severe injury, like that will impact your combat prowess.
You kill yourself.
Yeah, you're pretty useless. Then
do you think they cut her arm off with an energy sword?
Probably. It would cauterize the wound.
I imagine so, yeah. So pretty much she just explains her alliance then with Jewel as to get revenge. So she is pretty much his partner now, and they're best friends.
I like how she's just not scared of him at all.
Do they think they do like a Sergeant Johnson hug off screen?
Not with Halsey. She only hugs John.
They have a secret handshake.
Oh, I hope so. I hope they have a secret handshake.
It's only one arm though. You can only use one hand.
Oh. There we go, guys. Spartan Ops complete. Go
Yay!
team.
We did it. So we will do a recap. I don't know. I don't think I want to go into anything else beyond what we just played, other than just talk about so we finished this. There's more to the story. Halo 5 is a thing, obviously.
Escalation completely picks up where we left off as well.
Yep, pretty much right away. I think Escalations. This is February. Escalations picks up at the beginning of March. So if you're interested in this story, I think it's a pretty good story.
I love the story.
Yeah. Escalations, takes it, and then in Escalations, well, we'll talk about this in the Spartan Ops recap too. But in Escalations, you also get a little Master Chief action as well.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. I know him.
A little teaser there.
I remember that guy. I remember when he was in Halo.
Yeah, I remember. That was before Crimson. That's right. Is there any trivia or anything, David, you want to cover?
Not really. I kind of covered it in the first episode. There isn't really anything specific, or at least, mission by mission here. So it's just pretty much Spartan Ops as a whole.
Mm-hmm. There was one thing I read. I think it was like inconsistency in how Palmer was portrayed. I think her hair was red or brown.
Her changes color and stuff. Yeah, I read that too. I didn't really think it was that interesting.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. But that's kind of throughout Halo 4 in general. It's there's just little minor inconsistencies. Don't let them bother you. They didn't bother me at all. But yeah. So overall, solid story. More to come. We'll do a recap on the next episode. Let's do some community stuff.
Yay!
Community stuff. I got Facebook ready, so I'll go first. Colin Perkins, admin, September 20th at 2:25 p.m. Crimson is a bit lame.
Nope.
Name your own fart.
Nope.
No?
Wrong one.
That's the recap? Oh my god,
that's
Colin.
the recap.
I got mine up.
Ooh,
September
no.
18th, 2019, 11:25 a.m. Colin Perkins says, "What does the Janus key unlock?" Wrong answers only. Question for mission
boy.
debrief Halo 4 Spartan Ops episode 6 through 10.
This one, if you have kids listening, just
I'm censoring them this time. Y'all are crazy. Dezudo says the urn containing George's remains.
Ooh,
that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Third says the portal to where George has been hiding. I think Aaron would like that.
A lot of Aaron digs.
Mm-hmm.
Porncast Evolved says it unlocks you are a noose.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like a Sing Healy name. Like a Sing Healy name.
Noose.
Gay Robot says Halo Reach for the Master Chief Collection. Very nice.
Ooh,
very nice.
That's good.
Timely.
Psych the Furry says Halo Infinite Beta. Mm-hmm. Spartan B312 says Halo 5 with a Didact Part 2 story.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that. That'd be real nice. Boosted STIG says the Janus key unlocks the part of Halo 5's campaign that was good.
Oh
boy.
no.
Ooh.
Salty.
Yeah, super
Ouch.
salt. Mick Mumbles says the Janus key unlocks the safety deposit box under the hologram table on Infinity's command bridge. Inside is Del Rio's baseball card collection, a needler, and a code to unlock the Honor Guard Wraith skin for Halo Wars. Del Rio has cried every night without it. It's very sad.
It's a good story.
And then finally, Shadow of Oni says the Janus key unlocks Master Chief's removable cod piece.
That's good.
That's a reference to the Halo 4 trailer where we didn't have one and it was weird looking.
And it was because of the Janus key.
It was just the Janus key. It hadn't been completed yet.
It was only half. Piece.
Only half. Now I'm done. That's it.
Thanks, Discord. We do love you, Discord.
We love Discord.
Krysta loves Discord.
I'm half and half. I like you most of the time.
Okay. The actual message is by Colin Perkins, the admin, September 18th, 4:22 p.m. What is the Janus key unlock? ? Wrong answers only. Mission debrief. Halo 4 Spartan Ops 6 through 10. I got a good few in here actually. First one is probably one of my favorites. James Goodshell says, "Your debt. It's a key and a sword." It's perfect.
Ooh.
Which is pretty much red versus blue quote. We didn't really know that. But there you go. Chad Ferris says Chief's chastity space diaper.
What?
Which, yeah. Matthew Blankham says remove the J and you'll find out.
Oh.
Knew that was going to come out.
Anus key.
The containing George. The urn containing George's remains.
We already got that one.
That one.
Someone's double posting.
AJ is Janice's nightstand full of adult things. For adults. Dildos. The door to Noble Six's cave on Reach. Do we only get one? Oh yeah, there's a bit of a kind of conversation here. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. The lock to Dr. Halsey's Cold Heart by Patrick.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Rasmus says it unlocks Chief's and Fred's secret man cave. That's alright. Okay. They would have Fred was the type of guy who'd have a man cave.
What do you think's in Chief's man cave?
Nothing.
I guess more armor, maybe?
Exactly.
It's a picture. Yeah. It's one of those fan arts of Cortana. You know the one.
It's like an arcade. It's like Fireteam Raven and just like a bunch of ammo.
That sounds about right.
It sounds boring, which is perfect.
Yep.
Halo C's Magnum, just sitting there. All it's beautiful.
That's it, yeah.
Ben Solo Evans says Spartan Palmer's sense of humor, maybe. Lucas says a key to my sanity and maybe an early copy of Halo Oblivion. Gwen says it unlocks the Forerunner Vault of common bronze rec packs.
Ooh.
Sam says your mum. Good man.
Oh boy.
John Connor then says the secrets of the universe or my front door since I can't stop losing my key.
Aww.
There you go.
It's very nice. I liked all of those.
Good work, guys. I think we're done with Spartan. Well, we'll do the recap, like I said. So we're done for now. We'll give our overall thoughts on the story in the next episode. So that'll do it for our debriefing of Spartan Ops from Halo 4 episodes 6 through 10. On the next episode, we'll be recapping Spartan Ops, and then we'll also be getting you ready for Halo 5.
What?
We're gonna play Halo 5, guys.
We get to actually play that?
That feels weird. I haven't played that game in so long.
Send us your thoughts at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. You can also support the show by visiting Podcast Evolved on Patreon. Until next time, evolve.
Evolved.
Evolved.